What do you think I'm doing?
Hello Munchkins and viewers alike, it's me Munchie and welcome back to another Niteangel product haul. Today is the bedding edition because Niteangel is an ethically sourced and really awesome company from China who is bringing products to the United States, and it's a company that is kind of paving the way forward for other companies, say for instance KT, Habit Trail, companies like that where they make products that are no longer suitable and are filling up our landfills because they're mainly plastic. So Niteangel has just helped out the small pet community because it was missing a very key factor in the whole process, which is you care about the animal's health, you care about the size of the animal, and you care about enriching the animal instead of enriching the human. Unfortunately, here at Munchie's Place for Homeless Pets, which is my rescue I founded in Washington State with my volunteers, we get all the time parents purchasing a cage from the pet store and being told that that plastic contraption is a-okay. And no, it is definitely not. You are not given the correct information, and a lot of the items are just not what you would naturally see in the wild, and we haven't domesticated hamsters in 100 years yet. So captive bred hamsters still have the instinct of being very stress prone, being critters that are given a small space when in reality they have a very large space, and they're not being given the right amount of items. A lot of pet companies, and KT is very guilty of this, so hashtag shame on Katie is still a thing, and sorry Katie, some of your products are great and the rest aren't, and you do and don't have ass listen, so yeah, I'm just gonna dish this all out on you. But a lot of products that KT make have actually killed animals. Yeah, you heard me. They have killed small animals and or are not appropriate and or have injured animals. Now there's always going to be freak accidents, but unfortunately KT goes the plastic route, the unnatural, more appropriately appearance-wise for humans than it is for animals. But Niteangel has taken the reins and it's like, yo, KT, we're coming, we see ya. Let's do natural. Let's actually give the animal something that it will seek in the wild, which is the appropriate amount of bedding, enrichment, a larger size hide, wood items, nothing really too colorful unless it's kind of dialed back a little bit, but it's appealing for the animal because the animal will thrive. So today, let me show you some beddings because I talked too long. So we have several bags of bedding here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually those are really heavy. Oh, and we're gonna be going through and talking about them, and I get to tell you about my opinions about these and why these options are great and maybe what isn't so great about them. Even though I'm praising Niteangel with high praise, there's always going to be trial and error, which Niteangel is very open to criticism, and they have done their part by getting certain things that don't function very well off of their websites, out of people's, sites, and then either revamping it or just removing it completely and thinking of new things that could possibly replace the item of which they had out, which is really cool. And I say that because one of the Niteangel tanks that I have definitely had flaws, and they discontinued that, and I don't believe they're still selling that. Let's check this out. What am I gonna start with? Let's start with the Aspen, because some of these actually contain the same material, but they're just mixed differently. So let's just be the plain Jane and start with just natural bedding. Now the first thing that you guys probably see is the aesthetically appealing label here. I love this so much too. It's so pretty. I love it. So this is 5 liters. It's good absorbent, safe wood, low in dust. Aspen is the safe wood, so that is absolutely correct. If you are wondering out there if pine kiln dried is safe, I'm no longer using it. I have had the community go back and forth on it, saying it's safe, it's not safe, it's safe for bigger, larger mammals. If kiln dry, it's not safe for hamsters. It does get rid of the toxins, it doesn't kiln dried. If there's an Aspen option in your local store, get Aspen. It smells a lot better too. It doesn't cause a headache or anything for me. And sometimes Aspen, when it comes to the wood shavings, is a lot smaller and softer than that of the pine that's supposed to be kiln dried. And of course, no cedar and no beddings that say soft wood without issuing what that wood is. So if it's a mystery to you, don't use it. So we got this right here, and this Aspen's actually the same texture as what you would normally see for snake bedding that uses Aspen. And I say snake bedding because I used to work at a pet store and some snakes were able to be on Aspen, so I just call it snake bedding. But it could be used for a plethora of different reptiles, including small animals. So sometimes if they're out of the Aspen, or you like this specific way they cut up the Aspen and package it, you could do that too, but you get more bang for your buck if you go for the larger bags, which I typically would do. And if you guys can see, all of these bags are the same size. So we'll talk about that later, as well as the price. So this one just is Aspen. This one is Aspen and cork, which is very interesting. And cork is this little brown stuff in here, and it has a darker appearance. Now this says odor and moisture absorbent, soft surface for walking, low in dust, clean and safe. So again, beautiful packaging. I love it. And I absolutely love the color of this. This definitely screams fall. This screams really appealing. Should I do a sniffer test? I actually haven't opened this up, but if you guys can see, my cats have actually started eating at the plastic because they're little shits. Oh, that smells good. Yeah, that smells nice. And ooh, the feel test, very soft. They do claim that it's soft, and it is a very soft wood. It's very fine, is what you could call it. Because for wood shavings, usually they're thin and long. But with that actually has some depth to it, but it is cut in such a way that it is very small. So that's great, especially since if you guys have noticed, because I notice this all the time, I'm in the pet room all the time, observing all the hamsters and gerbils. Sometimes we have hamsters that would like to climb on stuff, would like to dig and, you know, bury themselves, and sometimes they just make their damn pads raw, and you just wish that they would not do that. But because they're so soft and sensitive, they need to be on surfaces that are good for them. They don't want to be walking on stuff that's very stiff all the time or might cut them. There has been some Aspen beddings that I just don't like the Petco brand So Fresh bedding. I don't like that Aspen at all because sometimes they come in really big flakes and I hate that. But this feels great, and I feel like it wouldn't agitate the pads on hamsters' paws. So next we actually have this Aspen and Timothy hay mixture. Now you can actually just mix this in store. There is Timothy hays that you could just buy separate and the Aspen and mix those two at home. Like these two big bags. Lifting versus something that's very small like this. However, this is more of an ethical company versus KT that unfortunately they're a company that used to be a feed company but then bought out smaller businesses that were making small animal products to incorporate into their company. That's why you see KT Cages. They never used to be KT Cages. They were actually a different company, but that company now is owned by KT, and that happened back in the early 2000s. But do you want to be supporting KT forever, or would you like to support a new company that really cares a lot about your feedback and the conditions of the animals that humans are domestically keeping? And not treat them as toys? Great. All right, definitely try out this stuff. However, it is a very small package here. For me at the rescue, it would be more reasonable to go with larger stuff, and we get a ton of donations anyways, and sometimes people just donate whatever is cheapest on our wish list. So really there's not much options when it comes to like the bulk items and the bigger items, and that might be something that Niteangel might want to look into, because as me, or maybe some people watching, have multiple animals, this tiny little bag will not fit your entire enclosure, especially when Niteangel, unfortunately this is a criticism by the way, Niteangel is advertising large, bigger world cages that are stocked in small, medium, and large, ranging from 450 all the way up to almost 900 square inches. And yet you're selling bedding that's in a bag like this, that's almost the size of my head. Actually, it's bigger than the size of my head. So that's one criticism, where it's just like, Niteangel, hello, bigger bags. This won't do it. Come on. It is nice to see that they are giving you guys mixtures and ideas, because in the adoption space, which I am a part of, we get a lot of people asking, oh, I can just use Aspen, right? And we're like, no, you should definitely try looking at getting paper and mixing that in, because structures will definitely hold better. It won't be as flat as just having wood shavings, and it's more comfortable. And sometimes your animal can be sensitive to wood, despite it being a safer wood. There is still sensitivities that small animals can have depending on genetics, just like humans. Sniff test, this smells really good. and field test. This feels great. Now, a lot of people say that Timothy hay is too scratchy. There's different types of ways that they get them cut. So keep in mind of that, because not all Timothy hay is the same. And the bag that I showed you for the KT Timothy hay here, I have used only a small handful in some hamster enclosures, mainly gerbil enclosures, because they love the hay. They just go at it and make their own nests. They will make nests out of hay. They just love the material to grind. And hamsters can be the same way. I only had one hamster that was a really hardcore Timothy hay hamster that just wanted to grind hay and make it into a nest, and that's it. I've never seen hamsters pouch it, but I have seen hamsters carry strands of bedding that had little strands of hay inside of what they were carrying. Never have I ever seen a hamster pouch their bedding, but it is possible to be careful because there is freak accidents. If there is just a strand of hay that is too sharp, just like a dog with a big long stick, the stick might not be dangerous, but if he loses his balance, there goes an eye, or there goes something, and it can result in a dangerous situation. However, Timothy hay is not a bad nesting material to be using, so please keep that in mind. A lot of people say that orchard grass is great for bedding, and I absolutely hate it. I hate it so much. It is better for small animals as a nutrient-based hay rather than a foraging hay. It is so stupid. I don't ever see any animal grinding up, except for gerbils, orchard hay. I just don't. And I use it quite frequently at the rescue. We have a lot of animals right now. We have 43 small animals, and it's insane. Also, mice use it too. I keep leaving out my little micey moos, but they're like gerbils. They love to grind on stuff. But what I just felt in here, which I just sealed up for some weird reason, is the hay feels softer than what I am used to. They are probably making sure that the hay isn't too rough, and it is cut up into smaller bits. Look how small that is versus other hays, other Timothy hays out there that have much larger strands. They look more like straw, especially when it comes to the appearance and coloration. So it all depends, guys. It all depends. We're just gonna have that talk here because, you know, it's been driving me crazy how some people are like, you're gonna kill your hamster, Munchie, because you're using Timothy hay. What? Speaking of Timothy hay, we're having Timothy and Coco. But this one says good absorbent, super soft, low in dust. Basically it is, and you can probably see them right here. This is Coco. I have never heard of using Coco for bedding, but if it is safe and it is found naturally in the wild, then I'm sure it is fine. This is so soft. This is the softest Timothy hay I think I've ever felt. Like, wow. This is really good. I like it. It smells really fresh too. It smells fresher, honestly, than the KT, Clean and Cozy. Now, if you want to give this to your guinea pigs, would Coco be okay? Is it the same thing? I need to look this stuff up. Why don't I have my phone anywhere? Oh, here it is. Lucky. For whatever reason, I cannot find what the Coco is used for. It just says Timothy and Coco. And whenever I typed in Coco, the internet was like, what? But honestly, they look like little Timothy balls that are just kind of crunched together. Don't know if it's because of aesthetics or because that's just natural, but hey, it's okay. It feels great and I love it and I love the smell of it. And then last but not least, we have something that I've actually been wanting to get. I really love the look and texture of this, and it's actually quite heavy, which is nice because when you make enclosures and when you actually have a big space, which is kind of their whole line and thought process of the bigger world cages that they are now selling and slowly getting back in stock in the United States. So please be patient. Don't be agitated for a Niteangel because they have good care that you just can't get. Pay attention to the market. I see this as a really great material because a lot of times I see hamsters like digging down deep underneath their wheel and they disturb their wheel, so their wheel either capsizes, gets knocked over, becomes City of Atlantis. But this right here feels very dense, so I love dense beddings or just any sort of material underneath the wheel that will prevent it from just going whoop, 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 fall backwards, fall forward, whoop, whoop, whoop. So this right here is Aspen and beech. No, B-E-E-C-H. Beech! Like the beach, but in wood form. Anyways, odor and moisture absorbent, safe wood, low in dust, clean and safe. And this is what it looks like. Doo-da, doo-da. This is what the wood looks like. Oh, doo-da. Wait, is this copyrighted? Wait. This feels soft because I'm crinkling it up. I want to see if it's any sort of prickly like I felt with other types of woods before. It does have a rough texture, not as bad as what I would assume, and it is very dense. But if you ever think of the wood chips at playgrounds, this is basically it for hamsters, gerbils, and mice. And I do like this. It is very heavy and I like the texture of it. And I like the smell of it. It smells pretty nice. But another safe wood that doesn't seep out toxins. So that is fantastic. So you may be asking yourself, how much for all of these? That's the same size bag. Not the same weight though, but definitely the same size bag. They are $12.99. You heard me right. For a 5-liter bag, $12.99. Ooh, that's expensive, especially when you get all of these. But these are going to be used at the rescue, so that's fine. And this is just me reviewing them and doing hauls and helping out the rescue and myself here, because you know that's what YouTube is for now. It is also for educating, so don't worry guys. Just be honest with you and your audience that like YouTube does help fill your passion. Makes you do other stuff, pushes out content that other people like, and then people say, yay, I'd like that, please do more. And then you're like, okay, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting and watching the videos. But anyways, this right here, oh my god, what the heck is that? Is that a rock? Sometimes these things do come with like little pebbles and rocks, and it does suck. It's due to like the way that the wood is processed or the paper is processed at the factory, and it's just what happens. So if you see stuff like that, which this actually does feel more like wood, so it's probably a burnt piece of wood here, it's totally fine. If you see it, just toss it. It's not gonna pollute or corrupt your bedding. You don't have to toss out the whole thing. Unless you see bugs in here, then toss out the whole thing. But anyways, this is a 52.4 liter bag. You wanna know how much this is? 20 bucks. $12.99. $19.99. Yikes! Not good. When it comes to like trying to save for your value. But when it comes to the other items and the way they are processed, it looks a whole lot better and naturally looks more appealing. But I wish Niteangel would actually make bigger bags, because this just feels more like nesting materials rather than bedding. I want bedding. I don't want more nesting materials where I'm like, sprinkle a little bit here, sprinkle a little bit there, because the thing is, you want to make a bigger impact because you have large enclosures that they have produced that they're marketing towards you guys. And there's people online that literally just have layer upon layer upon layer of bedding, and you're like, oh my gosh, where are they getting these really nicely processed beddings besides, you know, the reptile section at the pet store? Because poor small animals at pet stores are so neglected with all of the wrong types of bedding. We don't need scented bedding. No more scented bedding. You can find a lot of this stuff at the reptile section, but just make sure that it's safe. Just like with the moss that I showed for the nesting material in a previous video. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you around in the next video, and adios. Bye-bye.